And we will start it just like that. So,
Well,
welcome everyone to episode 4, Off the Rails. And last week we had a viewer question. We talked about the Open in episode 1 and 2. Talked about age group last week, and then we'll probably go into the actual semis when they come out in the next couple weeks. But for this week, I wanted to actually talk about trolley train and what it is. We've kind of allured to, like trolley train a couple times here now, but I want to make sure people understand and know what it is.
Okay.
So for starters, just what is trolley train?
Trolley train is, simple terms, my brain. I think. Okay. So the idea of it was, I have a lot of experience throughout being an athlete, being a coach, competing, running competitions, owning a business, a CrossFit gym business, coaching development, trying to get other coaches to be better at coaching. So just all of that is part of from 2012, I think, is when I started CrossFit, when I was in college until now. So after running the gym for a while, it was like, okay, I have more knowledge than what I can kind of put into a class necessarily. How can I share that with people? And so what all is there? So really, I just kind of opened it up. I didn't want to just pigeonhole it as it's only personal training. It's only how to open a gym, how to run a gym, whatever. It's literally if you are interested in something to do with CrossFit, and you have questions or you want information, I am an open book and I'm willing to help share that stuff. So I actually have a couple friends that I am currently communicating with about opening gyms right now in other states. I know other owners throughout other states, and I chat with them regularly as well. Some friends that I started CrossFit with and I've kind of just known. And then I've taken a lot of seminars to learn how to coach things better. So I do seminars here at the gym, and I'm currently putting together I've kind of started calling it like an L1 for members, which will be kind of what you get when you go to the CrossFit L1, but into one day. I'm at a 6-hour seminar right now, I think, that will have some base knowledge things, some better understanding of what CrossFit actually is, and some of those seminars that we've done here at the gym as far as kipping and handstand and how to squat better and just some base things that most people coming into a CrossFit gym probably want to learn how to do better, but is really hard for a coach to spend that amount of time in a class specifically going over that information. So that's kind of where Trolley Train started, was there are people that need that more one-on-one attention, whether that's just for a specific movement or programming, but then also coaching, business, just things like that when it comes to a CrossFit. So again, simple terms, my brain, and how can I share my 14 years of experience, and still learning. I don't know it all. I'm not saying this is the answer. But hey, if you have questions, here's how I've done it.
Yeah.
Here's what I've learned here. I just recently learned some stuff this week, which we can talk about off. Basically found out that we don't have a certificate of occupancy in this space currently, which is kind of an important thing in case you didn't know that. But the way we found out and all that stuff is, and then I had to figure out where to go to get it and all that process, right? So it's just things that I didn't know when I opened a gym or when I signed a new lease in this space. I just thought oh, the building owner does that. And I was just I pay, I sign, I pay, whatever. But it's a lesson I learned that now I can share with other people if they're trying to open a gym. What do I need? Oh, well, here's this, and this. The IRS is going to reach out for this. You know what I mean? There's just stuff that will happen because you can Google it, but it's probably not out there. I mean, CrossFit shares some stuff, but every state's different, every city's different, things like that. So just things to, look out for and whatnot. So that's, I guess, the general trolley train is. Does that answer that?
Yeah. So a little bit of everything, kind of just depending what you're looking for, you might help. It is a podcast now. Yep. So honestly, a little bit of everything. I had questions before, but one thing you said really stood out because I've never heard this before is doing like your own L1 for members.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to know more about that in specifically because that's something when I was getting into CrossFit or even a couple years down the road, like that would have been super intriguing where maybe I spend some money, but I'm not spending the $1,500 for the L1 and I'm still learning. It kind of sounds like L1 topics or just that
Yeah.
course.
Right.
So I would like to know more about what that might entail
Yeah.
going
This
forward.
is just kind of a rough idea that I've been writing down, and I really haven't shared it with many people, which
Now
now
people know.
everyone's, I mean, thousands of people, right, are gonna know. And it's still an idea that we'll continue to put together because I want to make sure it comes out. But I'll probably have to do a couple practice ones or some cheaper ones or something just to make sure that I'm kind of really getting it dialed in. But the idea of it is doing some lectures. So like what is CrossFit lecture, and really getting people to because people come into a CrossFit gym.
Yeah.
And when you're a new member and it's the scary thing, like you just know that you show up, you look at the board and you do what you're told. Right. And then like that might never advance.
Yeah.
Like that just might be what you do. And you're like, yeah, I get in shape there. And that's cool. And that's fine too. Right. But there are people that want more knowledge or explanation of why we're doing certain things or how we mix things up, or like, what if I just want to do lifting? I was like, okay, well, just go lift, but like that's not necessarily CrossFit, right? So the what is CrossFit lecture is important if people want to understand it better, which may help them attack workouts differently or understand the week better of like why we're doing this workout and then that workout or something like that. Or like why, we're running and then I don't know. Anyway, it's kind of without getting too deep into it, right? But personally, we've had members be like, oh, the level 1 sounds really cool. And then they go online and they're like, oh, that's a $1,200 course in a whole weekend.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. And I'm like, yeah, it's really for people that want to coach, right? But I've always said if every member could take the L1, they would learn so much, right? Like they would better understand class. They would understand why coaches are asking them to do certain things. They would move better, like just all this stuff in general. So then I started having the idea of like, okay, well, like since members probably don't want to spend the money and spend the time, like how could we condense this CrossFit level 1 into a more member-friendly, informative seminar, I guess. And I don't know exactly if I'll call it that, but so it'll have some seminars on, some lectures on like what is CrossFit, the CrossFit pyramid of like nutrition, metabolic, weightlifting. What is fitness? Like how do we look at fitness? And nutrition stuff, maybe a little bit of programming so they can kind of understand the week a little better and maybe understand programming a little better. And again, it's not going to be a deep dive of like, here's exactly how to program. And, like we don't want members to be like, hey, that's not how I would do it. It's like, okay, no, I just want you to understand that like we're mixing things up and this is why we're mixing things up. Right. And I think there's a couple other that I kind of had just written down. But then again, there would also be some movement pieces. So like do a 1-hour squat seminar on like, okay, here's the base things, which I've done a couple here at CrossFit Taylor's just to help people a little bit. And then here's a handstand workshop and here's some kipping drills, like not kipping muscle ups, but like just the base fundamental movement of kipping, right? So it's not just sitting and listening and talking. And it's not just moving. It would be like kind of a back and forth type of thing of like, here's general information to help you understand your gym, the goal of CrossFit, and like what you're walking into each day. And then here's some base things, whether you already know how to do them or not, that you've probably some additional information because of seminars and things that I've taken over the years, or just experience from coaching other people of like, hey, think about it this way, or do this, or maybe this would help. And then just, like, I don't care how fundamental the movement is, the more you work on it, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it, right? And that's literally what almost every seminar is. So, just making sure people have the chance to walk away with those pieces, but then also the knowledge pieces, and just kind of like take a really like in-depth dive of like little pieces from different courses that I've taken, I guess. But trying to cram it all into one thing, because again, that gives us the time to have an hour just on gymnastics kipping, for people to ask questions and learn more, versus like in class, it's like, hey, we're doing toes bar today. Okay, well, I have maybe 10 to 15 minutes, if that, to try to help you get better at kipping. Versus like if we had an hour, we can really break it down and usually as a group move through it piece by piece by piece and then let people advance as they can. Right. And then again, that kind of back and forth feedback or that more one-on-one attention really gives people that chance to like understand it better. So that's kind of what that will hopefully be.
Yeah.
I had this idea last year, didn't really put a lot of time into it. Had a kid, have put more time into the thought side of it,
Yeah.
but the whole scheduling it and doing it thing, it'll come around. But like it is a work in progress. It is which I mean most things in a gym or any business, like it's like I have sticky notes everywhere, but this one I have recently put a little more time and thought into because I'm like it will be good. I would like to do it here.
Yeah.
And then maybe at a couple of gyms where that I'm closer with just to kind of like dial it in and then be like, hey, here's this thing and approach other gyms of like here's what the feedback we got from it, here's what members are saying, here's how they enjoyed it, here's how it's improved. Like coaches or owners are saying that they noticed a difference from the people that attended this. Like, would you want to host this? I can come to your gym on a Saturday and hopefully help your members get a little better at some things. So that's kind of the idea of it.
I mean, I think it's very interesting. Like I said, when I was getting into CrossFit, even now, like I would probably do it again just to have more knowledge or a better idea or learn something from someone else or just in general. So I think it's a really good idea. And like I said, I haven't really heard of this before.
Yeah. And I guess that's the other part of it. It was like trying to come up with something new. Like I can go do a squat seminar. Like everyone can go do a squat seminar. Right. So it's like, what are we missing as almost as a community, as CrossFit as a whole? Like what's the disconnect? Because like some coaches are very knowledgeable and the members just don't get it. And it's like, how can we connect those pieces? Right. And so I've taken obviously I have my L3, but kind of to your point of what you're saying, like I've read through the L1 3 different times now. When I first took my L1, after the L2, it was when I first studied for the L3. I kind of read through it. And then the first time I took my L3, I failed. A lot of people do. And then it took me almost a year to be like, I'm going to do it again. And then I reread the L1 again, but like a little more intentional. And every time I reread the L1, I learned more.
Yeah.
Like I understood it different. Like had more experience from coaching or running a gym or being, all this other stuff. And then it was like, oh, that concept makes way more sense.
Yeah.
Like I just see it from a different view. So it's like this seminar, I hope, even though people maybe have been doing CrossFit for a while, there's I have heard that before. My coach has said that before, but like it didn't really make sense. Like this now, there's more information here, and I can kind of wrap my head around it better. So that's kind of the idea of it.
So really, it would be for everyone then. It doesn't have to be like you're 0 to 1 year doing CrossFit. You could have someone maybe that has done CrossFit for 12 years or 13 like yourself, and maybe they still get something out of it and still learn something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are people that could take it and know more than I do and maybe just want to like see what I say. And then there's people that like, I mean, I feel like every seminar we do in here, we get a mixed level of athletes, but I feel like everyone always gets something out of it. So it's like, okay, if everyone can get something out of one lecture, one workshop, one lecture, like it's just like and then some people might get the whole thing, be like, I've never heard any of that before, and then some people might be like, oh, that was dumb, that was a waste of my time. And I hope that doesn't happen, but it just depends. I think it also depends on the mindset. You're probably not going to sign up for that course if you're not going in there to try to learn something. Right.
For sure.
So
interesting. Okay, well I like that, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about just kind of what that becomes and turns into. But kind of turning it back a little bit, I guess. So some of the questions I had previously is, so you mentioned kind of you do personal training, you can do business coaching, you can do kind of anything CrossFit related. Is there one that you kind of like to do more than the other? Is it just like, I like all of them in different ways? What's kind of the thing?
Definitely like all of them in different ways. One of my favorite things to do, is coach new people, whether that's in class or a one-on-one kind of situation, and kind of introduce them to fitness. Like we just started our ageless athletes class, so I could even say starting a new class, right? The kids class. Like those first couple classes where like you're like, hey guys, this is gonna be fun, right? the ageless athletes class, like, hey, I don't want you to be intimidated. Like, we're gonna have fun and we're gonna move. And like even today was our second class, and I already got great feedback. Like, hey, like, thanks so much for being encouraging. And it's like, well, yeah, it's what we want. We want people to come in here and work out. I don't want to scare you and make you not want to come back, right? So it's like those first interactions of like getting people to like realize like CrossFit's not scary, working out's not scary, just like come in here and move your body. And even though this is on the board, you could do this or this or this or this, or I'll come up with something random right on the spot because you can't do any of those options, but I know I'm trying to get you to do something. And so that's kind of fun. Sticking with the new stuff, like I started a gym just kind of like off of experience, but it's like I have more now. So like helping some of my friends that I've been talking to, the ideas of starting a gym and doing things, that's kind of been fun. And also to look back of like, hey, here's how I did it, but like maybe now, because CrossFit's changed like in general over the last 7 years. So it's like maybe you need to start with this, and this equipment instead of this, and this. Or, have you, like, I don't know if a lot of people know this, I have a degree in marketing and I have a minor in sports marketing. So I like look at the market and the business, and like I maybe view things a little differently as far as like, is that a good location? Like, what else is around you? What else are you going to do? Like, what's your necessarily like your niche? Like, what's it going to be? Like, what are you using to market that and promote that? So things like that are pretty fun. And then I do a lot of programming for people, which is cool too. But I mean, in general, just helping people with whatever it is. And then and anyone that coaches also gets the same thing. But like when people are like, that really helped me, or like that was awesome, like I learned something today, or like you just start to get that feedback. It's like, okay, maybe I do know what I'm talking about. maybe a little bit. I don't know. And just, more people, hey, I heard so-and-so was getting better at this, or, hey, I heard you were helping with this or whatever. And like, can you help me? And it's like, yeah, I can help you. Like, what's up? What do you want to do? So yeah, I mean, there's not really a piece of it. Some stuff takes more time. Some stuff is like, like I would say the business side of stuff, I haven't really like, there's not like here's a business course and like here's like here's what I need you to fill out, here's your questionnaire, and then like get back to me and we'll figure this. Like it's just kind of like more of like a conversation of just like, hey, and all the people I've helped with this and stuff, I haven't even charged for it. Like I'm just like, oh, you're my friend, cool, like let's talk about it. Like I think if I was gonna sit down with somebody, it'd probably be a little more like planned out. But sometimes just an hour of conversation with somebody that has done it is super helpful. Which is like here, before I opened, I went and shout out Jason Tigertown. Went and talked to him. Like, hey man, like what's up? Like, how are things going? Or have you seen any trends or whatever? Because that's where I started CrossFit. And then like he was like, okay, well in South Carolina also you're gonna need this, and this. And some of it I listened to and some of it I didn't. And then I got mail, like in the mail, I got some letters and I was like, oh yeah, Jason told me about that. I should have done that. So it's just like being able to reach out to other gym owners or people in the space helps, and so it's just like, hey, we're here for that, and then competition wise, I love we throw events. We like events, and I feel like we run pretty good events. And I've been to some events that aren't run so well. And it's not a knock on them. It's probably just an experience thing, or just like there's all kinds of things that an event takes. But again, I have a degree in like sports marketing and kind of think of like an event as more than just the workout part of it. Like how is it viewed? How is it sold? How, like how's it run? And I've been an athlete myself. So I like to do events that run well. Like it makes it easier on the athlete, and it's on time. We did a competition one time, and I think we were there. There was some bad weather, but still, like from the get go, you could just tell it was going to be kind of a shit show of a kind of day. And I'm pretty sure it was supposed to end at like 4 p.m. and we were there at 8:30 at night, still waiting to do the last workout. So experiences like that when you're competing, like literally it was like, should we just go home? And it's like, well, no, like let's finish the workout. But it happened. And so it's like, okay, like there's a lot to think about when it comes to competing or running a competition or running an event. And so like sharing that knowledge too, like I've helped with a few things, or at least think about a couple things with some competitions, and or programming some pieces of like, okay, like that's cool, but like, is this what you're trying to test? Do you have the right time frames? What about like this or that? Do you have the equipment for that stuff, right? And things like that. So, there's a lot that goes into it. So I would say like, I like all of it, obviously. But competitions I think I get really excited about, but I put a lot of time and energy into them too, to hopefully then again you get that feedback from people that did it, like, that was great, that was awesome, things were on time, like we had fun, the workouts were hard, like all good things, and it's like, cool, I didn't hear anything bad. You know what I mean? Like, like, and I'm sure something bad's happened at one of our events, or like some people haven't had fun or whatever, but when it's 80-90% plus of people that are like, heck yeah, I'm coming back to your next event, then it's like, cool, I think we did a pretty good job there. And that's kind of the taste we want to leave in people's mouths. So, and I'm open for that. But I think the biggest thing with trolley training in general is like, I haven't like pushed this stuff. Like, it's not like a contact me to like program the semifinals event or like what, you know what I mean? Like, I obviously we have a gym to run, and I have people I do personal training for and things like that. So I do have a lot of time, but it's like, if these are things you're interested in, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, I would love to, like, please reach out. Like, I'm not trying to start 5 different businesses of, trolley train competition stuff, trolley train business stuff. Like, it's just like, hey, like, in general, if you have questions or information, like, please contact me. And then like in the future, if I have more time or we have more ability to like directly promote one branch more than the other and like try to get revenue that way, or just information or helping people, then I would. But like right now, like I said, most of the stuff, like, it's just shared knowledge, and I don't even charge for a lot of it. It's just like, hey, I want to help you. So the programming and the personal training, that's more of like my time away from other things, and so I do charge for that stuff. But like, if you email me a question or shoot me a text and like I can get back to it when I can, then it's just like, oh cool, I was at open gym earlier and I had time to respond, so like, here's some information, or whatever. So that's usually how that kind of goes.
Yeah, I mean,
long-winded question or answer.
Yeah, but I think it's useful information, right? Like, I didn't even really know all of that part.
Yeah,
and I feel like I've been here a little bit, so like I like to think I know some things, but it's interesting to just kind of hear your vision of it, I guess.
Gotcha.
Just
Yeah.
all the different things that you can do for people if they want the help.
Yeah, I think most people probably just see it as personal training. Programming.
Yeah.
Well, programming recently just started more just personal training, like one-on-one in the gym. Like, oh, I see Cam with that person. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, I did have personal training before this, before we kind of rebranded to Trolley Train. I think I called it AA for accountability and accessibility training. Accountability and accessory training. That's what it was. And that was really for like 1 or 2 people that like just wanted more than class. And I was like, okay, like, it's going to be accessory work because I don't think you should just do more CrossFit. And then a lot of people suck at accessory work because they don't have anyone holding them accountable to it. And it's like, okay, like, you're going to pay me basically to make you do accessory work. And like, that's where that started. And then the idea of being able to share more information kind of came into my mind of like, okay, there's more than just making people do accessory work that I know, like, and then we kind of rebranded it into Trolley Train, and I like it a lot better as far as a logo and an idea, and whatnot. And my nickname in high school was Trolley, just because it's short for my last name, Trollinger. And so it just kind of stuck. So
I do kind of want to touch on the personal training side of it now, because like you said, I think a lot of people think that's what it is. Turns out it's not just that. But we did just get the CrossFit levels come out for the CrossFit Open. Everyone has their level now, and we have the Community Cup in June or something like that. If there's someone out there who's like, hey, I'm a level 6 right now, I want to be a level 7 or 8 next year, can I come to you? Can we kind of create a plan to get there? Like, what is that a possibility, I guess?
Yeah, 100%. So I work with all different levels of athletes, from people who, one lady I'm working with right now has been a member for like under a year, I think. And then I've worked with people that have been here for multiple years. And also, they all, just because you've been here for a year or multiple years doesn't mean you're really that good or not that good, right? But just as an example. But yeah, so the big thing is you don't have to be a CrossFit Taylor's member, but I will still make you do your class at your gym. That is a big proponent of like what I believe in CrossFit is like, you should be part of the community, you should be doing class, you should be following a program, right? I think where a lot of people get mixed up is mixing and matching programs and things that they see, and Instagram showed me this from this athlete, and so I'm going to do that workout, and then the Mayhem dropped these workouts, so I'm going to do those workouts, and then I just saw the semifinals workout, so I want to do that workout. And it's like, you're not going to get better because you're not following anything. So if your gym actually has a program that they're following, you need to follow that and do it as part of the community, because it's going to help you show up regularly, push yourself, and do things, right? Outside of that, then we'll talk about what goals are you trying to do? Where are your weaknesses of like, okay, I'm doing these classes, but I can't really do toe to bar that well, or all my gymnastics are a little rough, or, when it comes to weightlifting, I just get gassed really easily, or I need to be stronger. And so there's all kinds of things it could be. So I typically will have people, I need you to dial it down to 3 things. Like, we're going to start with 3 goals.
Yeah.
What is that? And they can be a little more broad, and I'll help you dial them in, but usually people like immediately know, like, I can't do handstand stuff, or like, any workout over 7 minutes, like I just die. And it's like, okay, cool. That helps me know what you need to work on. So then I try to program based off of how many days, like, okay, what does your schedule look like? Like, are you even able to train more? Right.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big question. Like, do you have stuff at home you can use, or can you go to your gym or a gym more than the one time you're already going the day? Like, that's a big part of it, right? Because I don't want you to just go into your gym to do accessory work and then not doing class because you only have the 1 hour a day. It's like, if you're going to get something out of CrossFit and you only have 1 hour a day, do the class.
Yeah.
Like, do the class.
Yeah.
It's going to give you the most because like it's probably got strength, conditioning, again, community, and a push of some sort. Like, you're probably, even if the person next to you is scaling or they're better than you, like, you're going to go harder because there's people around you than if you're just by yourself. And it's easier to show up accountability wise if there's more people there. But outside of that, if you have that ability to do more, then it's like, okay, well, how many days are you recovering? So there's a lot of conversations that need to happen because it's like, we can't also just work out 7 days a week and just grind ourselves into the ground and expect to get better. Like, we need to be resting here or there. And then, what are we ultimately shooting for?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what are the kind of here's your weaknesses, but like, okay, why? Like, do you just want to get better at this? Are you trying to compete later? Are you trying to go up a couple levels so next year when you get to the open, you can perform better? Like, those things matter too, because it's like, okay, well, or like, is there a competition in August you want to do?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I know the time frame's here now instead of like here. And then, do you want to do any of this in person, or is this just going to be like an online type of program thing where we kind of chat over the phone or email or whatever? So like, we have to kind of figure out those ground rules. But in general, like, hey, yeah, I'm a 6 and I want to be a 7 or an 8. Okay, cool. So like, a 6 is like lower intermediate, I would probably say, of an athlete. And it's like, okay, so that means we probably have a problem with gymnastics or weightlifting capacity or whatever. And it's like, okay, which one are those? Okay, here's your biggest hole. Let's work on that first. And then as that starts to progress, okay, maybe we throw another thing in there. Or 2 times a week, we'll work on one thing. And then 1 time a week, we'll still have some other stuff going on. So that's it for the most part. It's not just beat you in the ground, but it's like introducing in. I think most of the progress I see in athletes just comes from kind of back to that member L1 that we were talking about, like talking about the movement a little bit more and trying to get them to better understand what the movement is and how it can help them, or the technique of it. And like, okay, or literally sometimes it's like, just calm down when the clock's on. Like, stop trying to go so fast. Like, breathe a little bit. Like, think about the workout before you do the workout. Like, don't just full send the workout, which isn't a bad thing either. Like, some people need more intensity. So it's like, hey, don't think about this, like, go full send. But then most people, like, if you're thinking of it in a competitive way, yeah, strategy becomes a thing. And like, if you're not thinking about anything strategically, then you're already at a disadvantage when it comes to the open or any other competition, because like, there's a part of that workout that's going to suck. And if you don't know what part of that workout it is for you, then you're just going to get there and it's going to punch you in the face. But if you kind of know your weaknesses and your strengths, and you can look at a workout and be like, okay, I'm going to be fine here, and this is going to really suck, so I need to pace accordingly or break it up to get to the right spot, right? And then now know how to attack that movement to the best of my ability, like, things are going to go better for you. So sometimes it's not even like accessory work or physical CrossFit things. It's like more just like mental thinking about understanding, knowing how to break things up better, or just really building some confidence in yourself. With like, don't be scared of the rower every time you see it. Like, or don't like burpee box jumps. Oh, I hate those. Like, get on the ground and get up. Like, but like, okay, so like it's not a physical thing. Like, well, then I'm gonna program you a lot of burpee box jump overs until you get comfortable doing burpee box jump overs. Like, it's not that you can't do them, you just don't like to do them. You know, so there's pieces of it, and a lot of it just comes down to conversations. But yeah, if that's something you're interested in, or if somebody's just interested, like that's kind of how it works, right? Is like, hey, here's what I want to do. Okay, cool. We got to answer some questions first to make sure how much time you can put into it, how committed you are, and you know, what does that even look like? And then we're gonna check in weekly on like, how are things going? Is that too much? Is that too little? Is that too hard? Do you have questions on things? You know, and then from there, it's I do it mostly month to month. Just be like, hey, all right, because we can do personal training for a week or a day, and like you might get something, but it's like you kind of need to do it a little while to start to see the difference when it comes to the programming side of stuff. So, but it is very much a for me a conversation and a kind of a back and forth and like okay, where are we at, how are we feeling, are we improving, are you hitting the goals you want to hit, like do you feel like you're getting something out of this, do I need to, like, what do you need more from me, what do you need less from me, things like that. So it's not just like here's a template, follow it, or here's more CrossFit workouts, go do these instead of the ones that you're supposed to be doing. Like that's not going to help anybody. I mean, it might, you know, I'm not going to say I'm the best programmer, but like in general, if you're doing CrossFit, you're going to get better at CrossFit. If you do too much CrossFit, you're not going to recover enough and you're going to get worse at CrossFit. So it's like, do CrossFit with some extra things and you're probably going to be all right. It's just dialing in what those extra things need to be appropriately for the level of the athlete that it is.
I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense and comes back to like, if your class has a program they're doing or cycles or things like that, and now all of a sudden you're doubling up the work on shoulders or whatever, you're going to get burned out and just kind of having to,
and then, like the class is going to 1 rep max and you're going to 1 rep max. You're like, I didn't get stronger. And it's like, well
you
could have. You were just not following this. You were doing all this other stuff. So it's like, yeah, of course it didn't work.
So kind of talked about just kind of a little bit of everything that trolley train entails, you know, business coaching, competition coaching, personal training, programming, a little bit of the L1 thing. I think that's going to be really cool when that happens.
You want to do it with me?
I would, yeah.
Okay.
But I guess just real quick, like it doesn't have to be this big speech or anything, but just kind of long term, where do you see trolley train going?
I have no idea. I mean, I would like to see it have multiple like kind of people or other coaches under me. I think that would be really cool. Like I kind of oversee a lot of stuff. I still work with people, but like I would like for it to be so busy that I don't have the time to work with everybody. And just be like, cool, I'm gonna bring on a Nate. I'm gonna bring on a Claire or a Ryan or like somebody to like also work with this person who maybe wants to do that. And just like, okay, what do they want to work on? Maybe I'm overseeing, like, here's their goals. Are we heading that way or whatever? But like, not like, here's the exact pieces you need to do. But like, all right, like, yeah, sweet. They need to work on handstands. You're doing shoulder stuff, stability, strength, endurance, and some mobility. So they're going to get better at handstands. Great. And then like, it would be nice to kind of push a little bit more of the coaching development side. I think would be really cool. That's where I feel like I can get better at personally, and also just more like knowledge to more people, because it's like, if I can help coaches coach better, then now they're going to help members get better, right? So it's like, if I can get somebody to coach a 15-person class better and have better knowledge, and they're able to share that knowledge, then it's like, cool, I touched 15 people through the one person. And so it's like, okay, sharing that. And my vision for CrossFit and how we do it isn't everyone's vision. Like there are people that are more strict with the methodology, or they're more competitive focused, or they're more community focused, or they're more like just no program, we just show up and we just kind of do whatever the coach wants to do that day type of thing. So it's like, okay, cool, if like that's your vision of CrossFit and that's how your business runs and it's good, then go for it. But like, if you kind of see what we do here or like what we do here, or you're interested, or just in general like want things to maybe be a little more fun or better or whatever, it's like, I think we do a pretty good job with that around here, and I would like to share that information. And you know, because I think we have a good balance of hard workouts, fun workouts, we do events as a community, but then like the knowledge behind like coaching of like here's why we're doing this or here's what we want you to do. And then making sure that coaches are coaching and not just leading. Like, that's kind of the big thing I stress when we have coaches meetings is like, hey, don't just read the whiteboard and call it a day. Like, I want you to coach something. I want you to pick something out of this workout and like make it clear that that's what you're trying to coach these people on today. Because I don't care how many times I've done a squat clean. If someone coaches me on a squat clean, I have to think about it more. Maybe there's a new cue, or maybe they say it differently than I've heard before. And then all of a sudden, hopefully, I'm a little better at squat cleaning. Or maybe I just need a freaking reminder.
Yeah.
Like instead of just going and pulling a bar off the ground squatting,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh yeah, you're right. Like I should brace, or I should, set up this way, or I should do whatever. Like that might help me. So, as much as I like to do seminars and give information, I like to take it as well. And so I just feel like helping coaches coach and being part of that would impact more people. So in the grand scheme of things, like I would like that side of Troli training to grow more. Not necessarily I want to make the best athlete ever. Like, I'd rather touch more people than one really good person. If that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Yeah, because I think CrossFit's good for everyone, which I hope a lot of people think. And more people need to do it in the world, and more people need to be healthier and fit. And so I think if we can just get better coaches coaching and get more people to learn that way, and then they're going to tell their friends about it, and like that's the better way to impact the community is to get more knowledge and friendliness out there and better coaching. And if I can't be on the seminar staff, which I have applied for and I haven't heard back, how can we do that through our own ways? It's kind of really, I guess, back to your original question, like that's kind of what I see Troli training as is like, okay, like how can I share my CrossFit the way that I think CrossFit still wants us to share it? Like I'm not trying to make something different. I'm just, instead of having a red shirt and going to an L1 or an L2 to help like specifically at this gym because they're hosting that weekend, it's like, cool, I'm available and you can hire me, or I can come to your gym and I can help your members and also do it that way. So well, kind of what I see it is.
I mean, I think that's a pretty good way to end on that note. With that said, that is Troli training, a little bit of everything CrossFit related.
Yeah.
If you have any wants or needs, Instagrams are down below. You can DM Troli Trainer CrossFit Tailors. You can email. I got the contact in there, I believe, as well. So multiple ways to reach out if you need any help or want anything, or just some extra knowledge from someone who's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah. So if you have questions at all, like it's not like you immediately have to like, hey, like just like we're gonna have a conversation before we commit to anything. So if you're interested, just let me know via. I mean, CrossFit Tailor's information is probably going to get to me faster, but I do check all the Instagrams. So if you mess with me on any of the Instagrams, I'll see them as well.
All right. Cool. So that is episode 4 of Off the Rails. We do appreciate everyone for watching. Like I said, we hit over that 1,000 view number last week, and it's continuing to grow. So
nice. Let's go.
Definitely exciting to see.
Maybe we will be a big podcast one day. Maybe that's the goal for Troli Training.
There you go.
We'll be the biggest CrossFit podcast out there. Hey!
And with that is a perfect way to end it. So thank you all for watching. Subscribe, like, and comment. We will see you all next week on Off the Rails.